The Patriots just won their 11th straight AFC East title. It's been such a dominant run. You've been on the inside of this machine. What makes the Patriots dynasty as formidable, as impressive as it's been?
It's just a consistency factor. First and foremost, hello, boys. How we doing this morning? Secondly, but it's the consistency factor of the New England Patriots and what they're able to do year in, year out. In an era of sports in which we live in, which is free agency and rosters changing, coaches going different places, everything like that, it's incredible that they can maintain the level of success and consistency that they've had throughout the course of years. I mean, if you think about it, it's 11 straight division titles. Prior to that, the only time that they didn't win the division was when I actually played in 2008. But prior to that, they had another 7 straight. I mean, it's just such an impressive run. And the teams all, there's turnover constantly. But at the same time, the two consistents and constants there are Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And the two of those is a recipe for success.
We're talking with Matt Cassel, 14-year NFL veteran, former Pro Bowler. And let's not also besmirch the fact that you didn't win. You guys were 11-5, I believe, that year. I mean,
right? We were still pretty. We were competitive. There's no doubt. It was one of those crazy years.
I mean, if you were in the NFC East, you'd be resting starters next week. You would have had that thing locked up, ready to go.
Gosh, I know. I was hoping for that too. I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. Oh, we didn't even make the playoffs, and now everybody just talks about the simple fact that Brady, every year he starts, they've won a division, and then what happened in 2008? Oh, Cassel started. Here we go.
Yeah, it's still a very good team though that season. So you're looking at this Pats squad. You saw them beat the Chiefs last season in the AFC Championship game. They lost to the Texans this year. They lost to the Ravens. Swept the Bills. Out of those 4 teams, I mean, who do you think provides the biggest matchup issue for the Patriots in the playoffs?
Right. It's interesting because they've actually played all those opponents this year, and I really thought that the Bills were going to give them more trouble this last week, but actually the Patriots came out, and for the first time all year, that offensive unit found a rhythm in terms of they're able to run the game. They're able to set up the play action pass. They were good on third down. They stayed ahead on down and distance, and so they got themselves into third manageable, which throughout the season for a multitude of different reasons, with the offensive line being a little bit banged up, Isaiah Wynn being out, to the multitude of receivers going in and out with AB, Josh Gordon, trading for Sanu, some young receivers being out there. There was just so many things that this offense was not clicking on all cylinders, but to this last week, they finally put it together. In terms of if they can keep that rhythm going into the playoffs, similar to what they did last year. I mean, I don't think they really found their identity till late, but I think the Chiefs still pose the biggest threat to them and probably any team really in the playoffs right now. The way that the Chiefs have come out, and then obviously with the firepower with Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, and you've got all those different guys out there that can create an issue for you with Mahomes. But more impressive, I think, for the Chiefs is Spagnuolo and that defensive unit and what they've been able to do. They're much better against the run as of recent, and in the secondary, they're playing really well. So, I mean, that's a team that I think really poses the biggest threat to any team right now in the playoff system.
Who do you like, Matt, out of the East, or out of the NFC, rather?
Right. This is a tough division because there's so many things going on right now, like you said, and also with Seattle's loss yesterday, and that changes maybe the landscape of the number 1 seed with the 49ers. But, I mean, the 49ers, how they've played throughout the course of the year, I think with their defense and their defensive unit and all the first-rounders that they have on that defensive unit and how they've been able to put it together, and Shanahan, his system, and Garoppolo, and the additions that they made with Emmanuel Sanders throughout the course of the year, I think that they're a high-powered offense. And if they can get that number 1 seed and that home field advantage, I think right now it comes down to home field advantage, and anybody that gets that number 1, number 2 seed with the bye obviously puts them in an advantageous position like it does every year. But this division in itself, the NFC, is so well matched, and there's going to be so many great playoff games that I can't wait to watch and see. And also you can't ever count out the Saints and the way that they're playing and how they've been playing recently, especially with Breeze coming back, and throughout the course of the year, they just create so many challenges for you, especially from the offensive side of the ball.
Talking to Matt Cassel with us, former NFL quarterback on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Matt, you occupy a very interesting category to me. In the NFL, there are usually starting quarterbacks and backup quarterbacks, and then kind of like in Zoolander, there are the slashies. There are people that have occupied both roles, performed very well in both roles. We just saw Ryan Fitzpatrick go out and continue to add to his storied legacy in what I believe is the same category. When you look at Ryan Fitzpatrick and his career, how will you explain it to your children one day?
That's such a good question. You know what? I love Ryan Fitzpatrick's career. I love everything about it. I love where he came from, how he started, and then just throughout his course of his career, just when everybody starts to count him out and when everybody starts to look at him and go, I don't think he's got any left in the tank, or, oh, here we go again. He all of a sudden shows up and out of the dead, and he's walking around and ripping the ball around, having a great performance. And, you know, I just love the way he competes. I love how he plays the game and how much fun he has. And, you know, no matter what the circumstance, yeah, he's a gunslinger, and I think people appreciate that about him. At the same time, it gets him in trouble at times, but he plays the game the way it should be played. I saw him just 2 weeks ago running down the sideline and trying to run over a linebacker and just getting absolutely smashed. And I'm going, what are you doing? But at the end of the day, you know, I just like how he goes out and competes. And at the end of the day, he's had an unbelievable career, especially from where he came from. And he's accomplished a lot.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+. We'll see you there.